Hey everyone, I'm back, and this time I'm going to be reviewing a film called Prometheus that came out back in 2012, and I only saw it like a few days ago for the very first time, and I liked it a lot. It was a surprise, and it's also directed by Ridley Scott, who's also done the original Alien, Blade Runner, Gladiator, but even though I haven't seen that, I know he's directed that. He also did Alien Covenant, and he's also did this year's All the Money in the World, which I haven't seen yet. But I was thinking about this movie a lot, and the more I thought about it, the more I wanted to do a review on it. So, let's get into the review. So, basically what Prometheus is, it takes place in the world of Alien, but it's also a prequel slash spinoff, and it kind of wants to do its own thing. Each character in this movie is basically going on this adventure for like a different reason, and they all find, our main group of heroes find artifacts all around. They keep finding artifacts that are telling them to go to the creators, because each character has a different reason for going. And then they're off. They go try and find the creators who create life and humans. And some things happen. So what did I like in this movie? Let's get this out of the way. Instead of putting all things into just one thing into just many things, I'm going to take all these things and say it into one thing. And my biggest positive for Prometheus is, visually speaking, it's amazing. It's beautiful to look at. The cinematography is fantastic. The special effects, just everything about anything visually speaking is fantastic. And the music in the film is really good. That's another thing I liked. It's creepy. It's wonderful. I love it a lot. The performances in this movie are also very good. You got Noomi Rapace, Michael Fassbender, Charlize Theron, I think that's how you pronounce her name, Idris Elba. You also got Guy Pearce, even though he's not in it a lot. He's pretty good. Noomi Rapace's character, Elizabeth Shaw, she's our main character, and in this movie, you do feel a lot of sympathy for her as the film goes along, and you also understand each character in this film. And David, played by Michael Fassbender, I think he's the best character in the whole film. Michael Fassbender is basically the main character who holds this movie together. But I think the characters are, even though there are some really stupid things in this movie, I think the character stuff is what helps it a lot, as well as the performances. The story of the film, it's a mixed bag. The first scene in the movie is a creator drinking like the black goo, and then it just kills him, and then it creates life. Because I believe, I think it was described in Alien Covenant, where they say like the black goo is both a weapon and a tool, where it'll destroy what it gets in contact with, if it's a life form, but then it'll like create a new life form from said creature that it destroyed. And you got some really creepy things in this film, some nice monsters, or aliens, sorry. There's basically, this movie does not rely on Alien, and that's something I thought was a great idea, because if it relied solely on Alien, just wanting to connect with Alien, then I think the movie would fall apart. Because, like, oh, you gotta see Alien to understand everything. It has to tie in with Alien. But it doesn't. It doesn't really tie in that much. Well, at least the first film. Moving back, when it was trying to be its own thing, and we're just exploring the planet. I forgot what it was called. It was cool. I liked it a lot. But when we get to the engineer stuff, that's where it kind of falls apart for me a little bit. Aside from the first scene, of course, The problem with like the scene where David is just in the engineer's room by himself, and he sees like this big hologram, involves the engineer's plan, and like basically wanting to destroy Earth or something. It was nice to look at. The problem is I don't care about the engineer's stuff outside the first scene because it doesn't really affect me that much because I know what it is. What it is, sorry. But when it's just them going to figure them out, what's going to happen with the engineers, I don't care about it because I think the more interesting stuff is them exploring the world, not like exploring the creatures the creators created, not going to find the creators who created life. And to me, that's so much more interesting. And since I don't care that much really about the engineers in the film, the scene where David is just playing with these holograms of planets and stuff, that scene to me is so dull. And there's some pretty stupid stuff in this movie, like the characters running away from the ship as it's like, these are the characters, and their ship is just, why can't you just go left or right? I don't know. That's probably the stupidest thing in the movie. But there are other things that I can understand, like the guy touching the new worm thing or whatever, and just breaks his hand. Like, why would you touch that? But they were curious, so I guess I could understand it. Like, you can understand some of these stupid things, but some of them are just inexcusable. And the third act in the film, where the engineers are basically... I'm not spoiling the movie. I mean, this is kind of light spoilers, but in the third act, you don't understand why our antagonists of the film are doing what they're trying to do. So the third act kind of falls apart and becomes stupid. But for the most part, I was with it. I was with the film and what it was doing. And that's all my positives for Prometheus. I think this is a pretty good movie. If you don't like this movie because it doesn't have a xenomorph in it, or you're only invested in xenomorphs, I guess I could understand that. But for myself, I prefer if a film goes in a different... Even if the movie's bad, I prefer a film to go in a different direction and fail than for it to take a safe route and fail. Because if you go in the different direction, at least you learn something of what you're doing. You have more things to learn if it fails. That's what I want to say. And all in all, I think this is a pretty good movie, and I'm going to give Prometheus a B+. Has its problems, but you know what? I enjoyed it. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you liked this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Prometheus down below, because I know this film is fairly divisive. Some people find it boring. Other people say, no, this is pretty good. But I'm curious to see what you guys have to say, and comment down below. And don't forget to follow me on social media, my Twitter and Stardust. My link for my Twitter will be down in the description below. And Stardust as well. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation. And I'll see you when I get my next review up. Probably going to be Molly's game or something else. But in the meantime, I'll figure out what I can do. Thank you for watching and have a great day.